Hi, my name is Lara and welcome to my channel, Inner Goddess Guidance. Today, Angela from MysticMoon and I are collaborating on a video about healing our chakras, energy healing, and healing the relationship between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I wanted to start by giving you some general information about energy healing. So the introduction, for those of you who want to skip that, you're very experienced with energy healing. I'll make sure to timestamp it. And as I go through each chakra, I will also timestamp those so that if you are somebody who, again, has a lot of information and you want to cut to the chase, you can go straight to those timestamps. So, energy healing is a vast field, and it of course includes healing like Reiki, like pranic healing, but there are many different forms of energy healing. I believe that we can absolutely heal ourselves, and if you want an excellent resource for understanding how you can use energy healing, a woman named Donna Eden is a pioneer in the field, and she wrote a book called Energy Medicine that I have read, and it's very good. I think that it's really important to know that the more we take intentional control of our own healing journey, the more empowered we are. The better we get, the more control we have. But you can always consult a Reiki healer or an energy healer. And again, there are many different kinds. Reiki can be done in person, which is my personal preference because I think that a client can actually feel more direct sensations in their body, but Reiki can also be done remotely. If you are interested in Reiki healing at any time, you can consult me. I am a Reiki master. So some information general. There are, of course, 7 chakras, but there are actually 12 chakras in the body, and depending on which person you speak to in energy healing, they deal with those chakras or heal those chakras different. But in general, the most common way that we come across chakras are the 7 basic chakras, all of them aligning up from the base of our spine and our base chakra up to our crown chakra. And again, there are others up to 12 that go beyond our crown chakra and also down below our feet. So I also wanted to say that I watched a video last night by Mel Brand, who's a quite experienced divine masculine in union with his divine feminine. I forgot her name, but I'm sure many of you have seen his videos. I'm going to link that video down below because what he talks about is the difference between twin flame union, or twin flame, not relationship, but the connection. Let's call it a connection. Twin flame connection and twin flame relationship. And he was clarifying that many people get stuck in this idea of relationship. And I found it really insightful video and very helpful. It aligns with a lot of the messages that I've been given about my own journey and the messages that I'm to share with others. And that's this. In this healing video, we are healing ourselves. We're not focusing our healing on another. Now, for Reiki masters, we never engage in healing anybody without their express consent. They need to give permission. And as such, even as a Reiki healer, I would never, ever do that for my divine masculine. Now, I can pray for him. I can ask to heal the relationship between us and any aspects in myself that are blocking the relationship. But again, I would never send healing toward him that it interferes with his own free will. And so that is not something that I am willing to do. You might want to think about that as you are constructing your own healing practice. So this is not magic. This is not a spell. This is healing. And as such, focused on ourselves primarily and what we can do. So there are many ingredients to include in energy healing when working with your chakras. And I'm going to include a lot of those elements when addressing each and every chakra today. So there are foods, there are crystals and gemstones, there are essential oils, colors, there are specific affirmations. All of those things can be found online very, very easily, but I'm going to link a few of them for you also in the description box. So I'm going to suggest that you watch the video and that you write down notes as you're watching it, because my advice is for you to really intentionally choose the elements that speak most to you. You don't need to use all of the elements when you are working with Reiki or energy healing. You can choose to use essential oils or not use them, use gemstones or not use them, use foods throughout your day, or specifically wearing colors. Again, all of that being up to you. And I think one of the most empowering things to do is really choose, mix, and match those things and come up with your own healing plan. And so using some of the things that came out in the reading today, you can choose that. In Angela's reading, she's reading for the collective. And when reading for the collective, she's coming up with general things that may or may not apply to you. And so there may be issues that you want to target related to the things that came out. And I will give suggestions if that is an issue for you and you resonated with that message. If it didn't, you can just do a general cleansing or clearing for that chakra and move on. The last thing that I want to mention before I delve in is that as a Reiki master, I start at the crown chakra and work energy down. I do that for a specific reason that has to do with connecting to source energy and allowing that energy to flow through each chakra methodically as I work my way through a person's body and expelling things out of the feet, that energy working its way out. In Angela's reading, she started at the base chakra and said this is the root of the problem, the root chakra. And so she started there and worked her way up. So that is another thing that you want to consider when you're making your plan. Where are you going to start? Are you going to start at the top and work your way down? Are you going to start at the bottom and work your way up? I'm going to give the messages in the same order that she did. But when I'm planning my own healing ritual, I would start at the top and work my way down. I would just take the notes that I had, I would make my plan, I would think about it ahead of time, and remember that all the energy and intention that you infuse into your own ritual, that makes it more intentional, more powerful, and more directed. So that's just a quick introduction. Okay. When you are doing your own ritual, make sure that you gather your materials you're going to use ahead of time. Choose your stones if you're going to use stones. Choose the oils. And then make sure that you select a day. You may want to select it on the new moon or the full moon. You may want to select a day that's numerologically important to you. I think whenever you do healing is fine. Or a time of day that is good for you. It's important to cleanse yourself ahead of the healing ritual, and you may want to decide to avoid alcohol for 24 hours ahead of when you do your ritual. Alcohol does impact the energy in our body and can reduce the effectiveness of your energy healing. So cleanse yourself by taking a salt bath, for example. You could do a salt bath with some essential oils. You can smudge yourself. You can also clear yourself with selenite or a crystal. Make sure that you cleanse your tools, and that includes your gemstones. Gemstones can be cleaned or cleansed many different ways. Be very, very careful that you check out which gemstones you have in terms of if you're going to cleanse them under water and salt, which is a common way of cleansing crystals. Make sure that you check out that your crystal is okay to be placed under water or with salt, because some of them cannot be. Selenite is an example of that. Make sure that you also cleanse your space. And again, you can do that by smudging. You can do that by using a spray. There's a lot of different ways. You can even do that with sound. So all of that will help cleanse your space, and then you're really getting it ready for your ritual. Okay, that's that. For each chakra that I go through, for each message and set of cards, I'm going to hold them up, and then I will talk about the different elements that you can include. I'm going to try to go at a pace that is both you're able to hear it and take notes, but also at a pace that is not too slow. I tend to talk slow. That's just me. Angela is so great about being so precise. I am a little bit of a wanderer, and I a lot. I'm sorry. Okay. So starting at the base chakra, this is called the base chakra, the root chakra. It is the color red. It is the element of earth. So if you were to go outside, for example, and sit on something that's red, that would be something that you could include in your ritual. You could wear red. You can take red or any of the crystals that are related to the root chakra. Some of the crystals that are related to the root chakra, gemstones, include red jasper, obsidian, bloodstone, which is called bloodstone, but it looks really like a deep, deep green. Okay, so you can also use patchouli, and there are a number of other oils that you can use. You can also eat red foods, including beets and red potatoes. Now, she said that in this chakra, at the root of the problem, we had regret. And this was for the divine masculine in particular. She also pulled out heal and yin. So let's talk about regret for a minute. The root chakra is the place where we feel grounded in ourself and our sense of empowerment. And so this regret, my guess is if anybody in the relationship, you might have had something that happened that was traumatic, that caused one or both of you to feel regretful. And if one or both of you is holding on to that pain, it has impacted the sense of self, or that sense of I am. And perhaps some negative messages have come in, like I am cruel, I am mean, I am thoughtless, I am unworthy. Those are the kinds of messages that may be impacting you. So if you're having those kinds of thoughts, be aware of it and be aware of releasing it. Also be aware that the relationship is an entity between you. So I think of myself, the divine masculine, and then the energy body of the relationship. So if something traumatic has happened, it's like the relationship itself has been injured or harmed, and that regret that exists, it needs to be released in order for something new to come in, to be healed. And so that relates to that card, the next card, heal. Now notice that in heal, we have the light coming up, emanating from the feet toward the base chakra. And so when you're working with this, I would use the visualization of making sure that you're bringing light into that base chakra and clearing away anything. You want to imagine a red light, a very balanced, not too much red light in that area, clearing out especially any sense of regret. So anything that you can sort of imagine regret being like a shadow, imagine that light coming in and sweeping away that shadow. And you can just say to yourself as you do, I release regret. Okay. The base chakra is a male chakra. And so when yin came out, I took that to mean that we can heal this issue of regret that may or may not be coming from the masculine in the relationship, we can heal that with yin energy. And so we want to be very thoughtful about that. You might even want to look up flowers or a more feminine type energy. Patchouli may be too masculine for you, and you may want to look for an essential oil that is more feminine in terms of healing that. But just some reinforcement that the feminine is the one that can help heal this regret. So if you know you're holding on to regret, work through that and expel the regret. Try to work through whatever happened and allow the regret to go. And one way you can do that is to find the lesson in whatever happened. So looking back, if you were looking at it from a more spiritual point of view, what was the lesson that was learned there? What was gained? And if you can find sort of the pearl of wisdom there, then that will help release the regret, because then the regret is gone. We can find why that was valuable, and we can value that. So you can say to yourself as you do so, I let go of regret. I forgive. I let go of pain. I am grounded and supported. So those are affirmations you can use. So that was for root chakra healing. The next one, in the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is ruled by water. It is the color orange. You can use clary sage as an essential oil. You can use the gemstones of, shoot, what is this? I just blanked on it. Darn it. Carnelian. You can use tiger's eye. You can also use citrine, but I'm using that for the next chakra. So you'll find on the charts that sometimes the gemstones are different. You could go to one site that you really value, for example, and just go with what they use. It's really not set in stone, but you will find a lot of them reoccurring. Okay, so like obsidian I've seen mentioned not just for the base but also for the crown. So interestingly enough. So I wanted to mention that when you go to get your gemstones, if you don't have your own yet, go to a store, have a list of the different options that you can use as you're picking out one for each chakra. And then, they usually have like little containers that are holding several. You want to let one call to you and then hold it. I always hold it in my non-dominant hand. I don't know why. I feel like that is more sensitive for me. And close your eyes and just sit with that stone for a while. There are some stones that can feel overwhelming. So I have some that are, for me, almost make me feel ill when I hold them. They're just too much energy for me because I'm very sensitive. And then let yourself feel several and then select one stone for each chakra from the list. Okay, sacral chakra. Out came the message, signs, Queen of Water, intention, and shine, or the sun card. So some things that I noted here. This is the area of our sexual kind of feelings. Down below the belly button is where our sacral chakra is. You can eat orange foods if you want to work with that as well. I would be aware, and when you see signs or when you're experiencing things or getting signs from that area of your body, what are those sensations there? Do you feel something there when you are getting what you believe to be a sign? I mean, we get them all the time, but she mentioned that maybe they're being ignored at this time. So pay attention to what you're feeling in your body right there. Make sure that you are drinking a lot of water. When I did my Reiki attunement, I got messages about that water was everything. Water was source. Water was really, really essential and important. And that's not just the drinking of it, which I think is crucial to keep our body energy systems flowing, is to have a lot of water, be well hydrated, but also bathing. When you're taking a shower, you might want to be aware again, and I think she mentioned this in the video, of the signs you get while you're doing that, while you are taking a shower, while you are taking a bath, sitting at the beach. Again, I think she mentioned that. Uh-oh. This always does this. Hang on. If I don't get out, it glitches my video. So let's hope it didn't glitch. Okay. Also came out intention, and I think that it's important in your ritual and in your work to set clear, humble, unconditional intentions to heal and forgive. And again, thinking about the relationship between the two of you, and not just your body, but the sort of energetic body of the relationship. You want to send healing light. This, since it's sacral, would be an orange light toward that intention to heal anything or forgive anything in a completely unconditional way. And then the sun's energy, and that I would say bring the sun's energy into this ritual. You could sit, again, if you're sitting outside in a spot, could be by the water, on the ground. Then you're engaging your base chakra by being on the ground. You are near the water, and if it was sunny, then you can engage the sun's energy. If you're working with sun's energy, she's bringing it into her heart chakra. I sort of enjoy imagining the sun's energy coming straight into my crown chakra and slowly working its way all the way through my body. And as it does so, it's expelling any shadows, it's expelling anything that's blocked. Okay. And you could do that when you're imagining the relationship between you. Again, visualizations are very, 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 very powerful. So affirmations: I feel my truth. I feel forgiveness. I am creative and strong. Okay. Next, solar plexus. Oops, wrong thing. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I put my notes up there. Solar plexus, the color is yellow. Oh my gosh. The element is fire. Eating yellow foods like squash, bananas. You can use cedar wood, is a good essential oil, and citrine, which is one of my very favorites. So I had to do a lot of work last year with my solar plexus. I had a lot of issues, a lot of blockages with my confidence, my self-esteem, a lot of damage. So when we have things in our lives that happen to us, it's sort of like we're born with this, unless you have like karma from the past or whatever, but if you ever look at a baby and you see their energy is so strong, it's so vital, because nothing's happened to them yet. But as we go through our lives making choices and experiences happen to us, we have traumas or whatever, that's what ends up blocking our energy. And so I did a lot of work to clear the damage that a lot of things that had happened to me in my life that had blocked in my solar plexus and sat there to such a degree that I was sick in the hospital 2 years ago with very, very bad abdominal pain. And it was all around my solar plexus, and it was very definitely because of blockages and issues and things that I had stuck there because I hadn't worked through them. The cards that came out from this part of the reading were Lover for the masculine and Engineer for the feminine. And what struck me about this is that Lover, and I think, again, she may have mentioned this, Lover is a feminine trait. Let's say this is a little bit more of a feminine energy card. That's what I'll say. And the engineer is a little bit more of a masculine energy card. And so you can see that both twins are working at balancing within themselves their other energy. So the complementary energy. So the masculine is working at balancing right now his feminine aspects, and the feminine is working at balancing her masculine aspects. One of the things that that Angela said in the reading is that the feminine is maybe not giving herself credit for all the power that she has and the capacity she has in creating this relationship. And I would totally agree with that. One of the things that you can do is, and it mentions here, ability to give creative energy a practical expression. So when you are planning your healing ritual, that is what you are doing. You are taking elements, you are like building blocks, like Legos, and you're saying, okay, I have, these are the elements I have. How can I put it together in a healing ritual that makes sense for me and myself and my connection, right? So you are actually engineering the healing and the ritual. And by doing that yourself and not relying on an expert or going to an expert and saying, heal me, please. Although I'm not saying anything against that. I'm a healer. Come to me, please. But the more you empower yourself, the more you are claiming for those of you who are divine feminines, you're claiming that masculine aspect of yourself. You're claiming your power, and that's really good, because that is where self-esteem, which is what the solar plexus rules, that's where it comes from, the capacity to see that you can do that. So make sure you're saying to yourself, I can do this. So one of the things you might want to do is make sure that you are balanced when you're bringing the energy in. It's yellow and fire. I would recommend in this particular healing to not just focus on the light, the yellow light spreading again here, but also you might want to visualize you and your divine masculine together in a visualization, standing right next to each other. Imagine a candle between you. Imagine yourselves lighting that candle together, the candle representing the healing of the confidence in the relationship, okay? Because your solar plexus is the seat of confidence, that both of you are healing the confidence that you would have in that relationship. You can imagine yourselves as you do that, both of you saying, I love myself, I value myself, I trust myself, I am enough. I am enough. So that is my message about healing working with the solar plexus. Moving on to the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is green. It is air element. And it is not just green, it is often a secondary color pink or green, pink and green. You can use the gemstone jade, aventurine, rose quartz. You can use the essential oil bergamot. You can eat green foods, so good for you, easy to do, eating all kinds of green foods. And then you want to think to yourself nurturing. You want to think of it like almost like a garden growing, this green growing lush energy, right? The energy of growth, of nurturing, is what you want to visualize. So what came out for this chakra was High Priestess. This was for masculine. Shadow work. And for feminine, it came out I think this was 5 of Cups, and Bound. So some of the messages that she had for this. She said that the masculine is maybe keeping to himself while he does some shadow work or is confronting shadows. This may have impacted or blocked his heart from being able to feel like he could, that the masculine, I don't, the pronoun doesn't matter, please. That the masculine could, has confidence, is keeping to themselves because perhaps they're feeling blocked about being able to give anything, especially as they confront those shadow aspects of themselves. What I would say in working with this is that if you visualize yourselves together in your process of healing, that you might bring that green, surround the two of you with a green light or a pink light, and imagine yourself feeling the unconditional love that you have in all aspects of your divine counterpart, your beloved. That's the word I want to use. It says here, change your focus, because honestly, if you are the divine feminine in the relationship and you are stuck looking at the loss. So this card in the regular tarot deck or in the Rider-Waite tarot deck always shows a person in black, and they're focused on 3 cups that are on the ground in front of them, spilled out. And the 2 cups, which represent the love, are actually standing up behind them. But they're so focused on the loss of what happened with the 3 cups in front. So if you are stuck looking at that loss, in your mind's eye, in your visualization, turn yourself around. Imagine not looking at the loss anymore. You're actually going to imagine changing your focus, and you're going to turn around and look at the 2 cups that are there. The 1 cup representing your divine masculine, and the other cup being, of course, your love. And so the love that you both are offering into the relationship. She mentioned that if this focus, this being stuck looking at loss, is binding the person. The divine feminine is feeling actually bound by that. Well, when we have traumas that happen or damage that happens in a relationship, if we don't kind of clear that up, the regret and the sense of loss can create negative cording between ourselves and another person. And so when this came out, one of the things that immediately came to mind for me was asking for negative cords to be cut between you and your beloved. And you can do this a lot of ways. You should look up different options, because people are all have different opinions about cutting cords and the safety of that. I personally believe that when you are totally sincere in your desire to heal in an unconditional way for your highest and best good, and the highest best good for the relationship, which means that you're allowing it to be whatever it is. You are in a place of unconditional love. I believe that whatever you do sincerely to heal is okay. I don't think that you're opening yourself up to anything negative. But one thing that I do, that I heard once and really worked for me, is to imagine, or I bring in Archangel Michael specifically. So I ask Archangel Michael in my visualization to come in and take any negative cords, and those cords would be the binds of the regret, the feeling of loss. And I ask Archangel Michael to cut those cords and to heal back to me my energy, and to heal and send back to my beloved that energy. Okay? So, and anything toxic in the cords, I imagine Archangel Michael gathering those up and going out over the ocean and flinging them into the ocean, into the salt water. And that visualization helps me to release those binds, that sense of feeling bound. Okay. So heart is green, green or pink light emanating. By the way, there's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful meditation you can do. I recommend, it's called Twin Hearts. You can find it on Amazon. I think you can even find it on Apple iTunes. And it's really good. And just because it just came to mind with the hearts and the Two of Cups and the twin heart. So it's beautiful healing, and it was created by the creator of pranic healing. So I highly recommend that one. Okay, so next we have the throat chakra. And that's where we get communication, clear communication. It is turquoise in color. You can use peppermint as an essential oil. You can use blue lace agate or lapis. And this is another one that you will find used elsewhere as well. You can use lapis for your third eye too. Okay. So I would recommend good things to use on this one. Oh, you can eat blueberries. And in working with this to clear energy or to heal in this area, anything that might be blocking communication, such as lies you may have told, lies that are never, a truth that is, a lie that is told and then never revealed, like the truth, the amends made or the truth spoken, that can very much block your throat chakra. And if that is blocked, then you will have issues with like being able to speak clearly, having sore throats, things like that. Or problems with your mouth or your ears, anything in this whole area can be, and your neck, by the way, like muscles and such. You can use sound is really good for this. Sound, music, speaking aloud and writing something down and then speaking it aloud. And so when you're thinking about creating your ritual for this, I would suggest writing out the truth that needs to be told. And you can also ask to be delivered the truth. You can allow for the truth. Say, I'm ready to hear the truth. I accept the truth. Please show me the truth or tell me the truth. And that can be from spirit. That can be from your counterpart. So any meditations with sound, you can look them up. Each chakra has a frequency. And so there are beautiful guided meditations that include sound, some songs specifically, or music that is geared toward that frequency as well. If there's a special song that you like to sing or that was special between you and your beloved, you might play it during your healing ritual, or you might sing it aloud. Once you write this letter or write your communication down, you might speak it aloud. So what came out in this is the Two of Fire, Two of Wands, the Page of Air, Four of Earth, and Round and Round. And so Angela was mentioning that you might have cycles in your communication that you just keep going round and round with this. You may have, look, my throat chakra going. You may have kept truth to yourself. There may be some deception between you. You may have blockages that, or anger that you have not expressed, that you're holding in. And so one idea is that once you write down whatever you're angry about that you never got to express, you might write it down, you might read it aloud, you might even get yelled or do primal scream, and then just burn it and let it go and visualize that leaving. You can also then write the healing of what you want to take place or what you want to create, and spend some time when you're meditating and bringing that turquoise light into your throat area, your throat chakra. Imagine speaking the truth, speaking from a place of power. Imagine being open to hearing the truth and accepting the truth from your beloved. Imagine the two of you in conversation, speaking together, and saying words that are loving and kind. So visualize and meditate on that conversation that you would have and that you'd like to create. And any patterns that you know you go round and round with, and imagine how you would like it to be. How would you like that communication to look? And put energy into visualizing that. And that might not be a one-time thing. Maybe you visualize that over and over and over again, especially if you know that this is a particular blockage. Third eye chakra, also known as the Ajna chakra, is the area of our insight, our accurate perceptions or inaccurate perceptions. And it is indigo. This doesn't look indigo, it kind of looks purple, but it's actually a deep blue and indigo color. She brought out the cards compromise and dilettante for the divine masculine, unawakened, and vampire for the divine feminine. Now, if you have blockages, your perception in your third eye chakra will be off. Your ability to rely on your intuition will be off. You will be asking yourself, because this isn't what you can see visually. This is what you see with your mind's eye, what you know, what you intuit, what you perceive. And so if, for example, you are stuck in the energy of feeling like your divine masculine is unawakened and he's a vampire, if this is your perception of your divine masculine, then you may have a blockage there, or you may want to work on altering that. You may, especially if you're not here for twin flame stuff, you may have somebody that you're connected to who fits those descriptions, in which case you want to be asking to heal, bring the indigo light into your third eye, and you want to be asking for clear perception to clear anything that's blocking. Again, anything that has happened between you which would have impacted these perceptions, go into the heart of that issue that happened between you and ask for that to be healed. Again, you want to, especially in this, I think that this could be that you were impacted by seeing the shadow side of your divine masculine. And if that's the case, you want to imagine them in their highest and best form. You want to bring that into your visualization. Okay, so not in their shadow aspect, but in their highest and best form. And I'm not saying deny that there are shadows. I'm not, just accepting them in spite of them. So you might want to think about, there's a part of A Wrinkle in Time, if you haven't seen the movie, highly recommend it, where right at the end, she's in the which is the darkness, and she's trying to rescue her little brother who's been taken over by the darkness, and she's been given the gift of her shadows, right? And she says to her little brother, "No, I know you love me because that's why you do all of these things, or I know that I have all of these faults, but you love me anyway." Well, that's what you want to focus on. If you are focused on what you feel are legitimate perceptions of your divine masculine, know that that is not all of them. You are choosing to focus on those negative aspects. And so what you want to do is bring the positive aspects in to balance it out. You can love somebody. In fact, love is not denying somebody has weaknesses. We all have them. We all have our shadow aspects. It's love. Unconditional love is, in spite of all that, we're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for the robot people, right? Bouncing their balls are perfect. And then this part, she mentioned that the divine masculine may know that he needs to compromise, or may perceive that he needs to compromise something. And I would say that that could be an accurate or inaccurate perception. Compromise is a part of all relationships, but we also sometimes perceive that we're going to lose something and that compromise is too much. Like, I perceive that I'm going to lose my freedom if I enter into a loving interaction with this person. Remember, we're not talking relationship, we're talking about the communication, the bonds between you. And what that ends up looking like could be anything. What we want is we want a healed connection between you. So you may want to think about, from that person's point of view, from their perception, what is it that they may be feeling that they have to compromise, and then ask for healing around that. You know, do really visualize either making compromises together successfully, or allowing a relationship that allows for people to be themselves and not have to compromise the most important aspects of themselves. So some affirmations. I am connected to my highest truth. I am guided by inner wisdom. So as you're pulling in that light into that area, you may want to be thinking those things. Did I already say? Nope, I didn't. The essential oil that you can use is rosemary, or one essential oil you can use is rosemary. You can use fluorite and amethyst on your third eye for helping with your third eye healing. You can eat, let me pull these up. You can eat purple potatoes, blackberries, plums, and purple grapes. And, oh, I don't have what its rules. I should, light. So bringing in bright light, you know, almost like you, bing, imagine turning on the light in your mind, in your third eye, and that you can see that blue. It's illuminating things. It's giving you the ability to see accurately. Okay, crown chakra. I'll start here. Crown chakra, you can use frankincense essential oil. You can use clear quartz, which comes in many different forms. And you can use, one of my favorites is selenite. Okay, selenite is so fabulous for clearing that I can feel it. I can feel it immediately. And it's often used to clear other things. So it's very powerful. This is the color purple. It is higher knowledge or wisdom, and it can be impacted by attachment. So attachments to the 3D. So here are some of the cards. Here are the cards that came out. Crown chakra, by the way, is a violet white light. Yeah. So either you think of clear, crystal clear white light, or you can also think of what I call a bluish violet white light. It's got this violet hue up there. You can do violet flame meditations would be good. Okay, what came out? Milk and honey, confront, blessed, and nurture. I love this because these were really, really good. First of all, I noted right away the rainbow. And the rainbow is all the colors of the chakra. And the rainbow is also, of course, the blessing. So the fact that, you know, when there's a storm, when there's difficulty, what comes after it? The rainbow. The rainbow is the promise. We talk about the rainbow bridge. So to focus when you're in your third eye healing visualization, to focus on the balance of all of your chakras. In fact, that's why I prefer to start at the crown chakra and bring that in and work my way all the way down as I'm working. make sure you're focused on the blessings. And I wanted you to notice the she's in the shell that came out in the round and round one. The round and round is about cycles that repeat. But here's the thing about this shell, this nautilus shell, which I didn't know until I really did some research and looked it up. It's also on the back of the cards. The nautilus shell is a spiritual symbol because as we grow and we go through life, it is like the nautilus, which grows out of one chamber and into the next chamber just big enough for it. And then something will happen. As it grows, it needs to go into the next chamber and so on. And when you cut these down the center, you see all these different chambers. Well, that is what spiritual evolution, our own pathway is like. We are growing, we are learning these lessons, and yes, we keep going back through similar experiences, but actually we're growing. So understand that the blessing of the relationship of a twin flame connection is the healing, is that process of you growing and being a bit more, and you grow too big for that chamber, you need to go on to the next step. And oftentimes that is done not through comfort. It is done through the uncomfortable, the traumatic events, the difficult situations. That's when we recognize that, oh, we have to gain new knowledge now, or new understanding, or new insight to go to the next level. So I did want to pull that out. It's also the number 22. Okay, so a really important number. I also noted with this one, this was kind of cool. We have the rainbow, we have the sun and earth elements. She's actually touching both, or reaching for both. We have the stars, and we have the moon. So this about confronting the shadows, again, so that we can integrate these aspects of ourselves to become whole. So when doing work with this one, in this chakra, bring in that white light, open to spirit, ask spirit to show you the blessings of your twin flame connection. You may not be in union. You may have had a lot of stuff happen that was hurtful, but the blessings are there too. So ask spirit to show you and illuminate you and give you that higher knowledge of what those blessings are while you're working in this chakra. Ask to be given the confidence to confront your wounds, to ask for the insight and the awareness and the higher understanding so that you can accept your own accountability for what has happened in the relationship, and that you can release anything, right? You can be thankful for what has happened. You can be thankful for the connection between you. Not the relationship, the connection. You're thankful for it so that you can be better, so that you can be healthy and healed and happy and not stay stuck. And that's the affirmations you can say: I am love, I am freedom, I am peace, I am one with the divine, and you are. And so is your twin, whether you're in a relationship or not, you are connected through the divine. Okay, last thing was that this beautiful message that came from the movie A Wrinkle in Time, and I want to read it, and then I'm going to close up. We'll timestamp all of this. I hope you got a lot of great information. So this is Ms. Witch, or Mrs. Witch, saying to Meg, do you realize how many events and choices that had to occur since the birth of the universe, leading to the making of you just exactly the way you are. Now, that is true for you. That is true for me. That is true for every single one of us. For those of us who have a twin flame connection, see if you can also hold that same vibration for the connection between you. So I'll read it again. Do you realize how many events and choices that had to occur since the birth of the universe, leading to the making of you, your connection, just exactly the way it is right now? And if you can stay in that vibration, I can guarantee you're going to clear up the energy. You're going to help clear the chakras and heal them. And you will feel blessed. You will find the milk and honey. So it was a beautiful reading. I thank Angela so much. Again, there's so much information to give you. There's so many ways to put together your own healing ritual. I hope this has given you some information about how you can go about engineering your own healing ritual to help you clear those chakra blockages. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful high vibrational